What position do you like to play?
So I play kind of deep striker, so the position between midfield and the forwards. So I try to connect the midfield and the forwards. So I'm not very good at scoring goals, so that's my excuse.
What got you interested in hockey?
I would say my school environment. I think school sport was incredibly important to me, and I loved playing as part of a team at school. So being back here and watching you all play together is really nice to see, because for me that was a big part of why I continued playing.
How do you manage to stay calm before a big game?
I don't. Definitely there's always nerves. I'm nervous before every single match, get butterflies in my stomach. But it's dealing with those nerves. It's taking 3 deep breaths. I use breathing strategies quite a lot. And I usually would take one thing into the game which I know I can deliver at all times, which is in my control. Like running, just being diligent, doing all the right things, and hopefully if I'm having a good day on the ball, that's fine. If I'm having a bad day on the ball, then that's also helpful.
What's been your most memorable moment?
I'd have to say the Olympics. Yeah, winning Olympic bronze was definitely a career highlight for me. I think we went in quite unexpected to medal, so it was just incredible to be able to. And our game, I don't know whether anyone watched it, but it was 4-3 in the end. So they were winning 3-2, and we managed to win it just in the last 10 minutes or so. So that was incredibly special.
When did you start playing hockey?
I started when I was about 7 or 8 in year 4 at Ipswich School.
Do you have a certain player who's your role model?
I would say growing up, it was definitely my brother Harry. He went to, he's an Olympian. He went to London 2012. And you're all probably a bit too young for London 2012, but I went and watched him every single game, and watching him compete at the highest level, I wanted to do the same. So I've luckily had a really close to home role model for me.
What's the worst injury you've had while playing hockey?
I actually fractured my fibula and ruptured my ankle ligaments in April of this year. So I had 3.5 months to make it back for Tokyo. And it was probably an injury that would take 10 to 12 weeks. So it was pretty stressful. I think it was more the kind of the situation and the time and my really small timelines. I had to not have any setbacks. So I think that's probably the worst injury I've had.
What's your favourite skill to use in a hockey game?
Ooh, just do this. Probably, just like quick drags, and then trying to go around the defender.
Is there a piece of advice you'd give to anyone who wants to take up hockey to like a professional sport?
I think what I always try and live by is just enjoying every day. Like finding enjoyment in what you do is so important. But also challenging yourself, and you're never going to get better if you don't practice things you're not good at. And it's never nice. I hate not being good at things, but for me, I have to practice all those things to be better, much better. But your strengths will always take you to the top, but your weaknesses, if you can bring them up, then that's hugely important. So just keep pushing yourself every day.
When you finished playing hockey for school, did you play for another club before you joined the England team?
So I went to University of Birmingham and I played for the club side there. So that was in the Premier League. They were the only university in the Premier League at the time, so it was quite cool that I got to combine my university studies and also playing hockey at the highest level. And I think that definitely helped my transition from clubs level to international.
Was there any point in your career where you thought about stopping playing hockey?
I think so. At university, definitely in my third and final year, it was pretty tough academically, and got to a point where I wanted to do everything. You want to socialise, you want to, be really studying a lot. And I think it got a bit too much for me at one point. But it's making sure that you give back to yourself, you give time to yourself to kind of discover what you want, discover what you really enjoy. And I think for me, I took a step back and realised that hockey was what I wanted to do. So,
what has helped you get to play hockey for England and win an Olympic medal?
I think I've got a huge drive and ambition. I always aim the highest I can aim, and I think for me it's so important that every single day you live life as a professional athlete, and you need to. And for me, I'm like, it's a bit of a waste of time if I don't live my life as the standards that we want to achieve. So I think I hold myself accountable to a lot of aspects in life, and if you push yourself outside your limits every day, then hopefully you'll be able to achieve.
Has there ever been anyone who's told you like you won't make it or you're not good? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Yeah, I was playing England under 18 actually, and I had a really rubbish tournament, and kind of the coach was like, if you don't change this, I don't really see you making any steps further. So I think for me, it was like, you know, you can get really, oh, that's not nice, or da, 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 but you can also look at it and be, they're just trying to help, and you take what they say and look at it and see if you can improve. And I know it sounds cliche, but practice. Like I'll just always be practicing on an Astro where I can, or at home with the ball. Better you were in lockdown as well. So yeah, just that's practice.
During a game, what are you generally thinking about?
I don't know really. It's I think in a game you're so focused on the tactics, but I think whenever you're in a big moment, the game kind of just seems to fly by, and I don't really tend to think about much. That might sound silly, but I think when you're at that point, you've trained so hard. In a match, you just want to enjoy it and just take. I play my best when I don't think too much. It's kind of just happens. So yeah, I try not to think too much and just enjoy the moment.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever heard when it comes to hockey?
Best piece of advice. I would say kind of similar to what I've said before, just kind of push yourself, and if you're not good at something, then you definitely can be with practice. Always seek out advice, listen to people, listen to people you're comfortable with, who you understand, who get you, and if you keep working your way up and have a huge goal to aim towards, then you're not going to be far off.
What's your favourite strike to use in the game?
Strike. I can't say I've got like I don't know, just kind of anything to shovel at goal, but hopefully if it goes in, it's fine. So yeah, I wouldn't say I have a favourite.
How much do you train regularly?
So with Great Britain, we train 4 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday, we get Wednesdays off, 4 hours on Thursday, and 4 hours on Friday. And then we play on a Saturday for a club. So quite a lot.
What would be the next step for us if we wanted to play for Team GB when we finish school?
I think just keep seeking advice from all your amazing coaches here, and you're lucky enough to have an ex-international as well with Mr. Jars. So I think capture any advice you can, and yeah, just look at what you can also watch players. And I don't know how much hockey you watch internationally, but it really does help. I use video a lot to practice and get better. So I think seek out advice, know your next steps, and but most importantly, just enjoy it.
Do you do any kinds of training off the Astro? If so, what are they?
So we do a lot of gym and a lot of fitness training, which is always gruesome over the Christmas period. We do a lot of running, a lot of fitness testing, lots of lifting in the gym. So it's not all just playing hockey. It's quite a lot.
What do you do outside of playing hockey?
I'm actually working for a sports agent at the moment. So I do a bit of talent management work with him, and I've done some digital marketing courses and stuff. And I think for me, it's really important to have other things and not just hockey alongside. So like I said, I don't like overthinking hockey too much. So it's nice to have another focus. And I think for me, going through school and university, that was also important. You have your studies alongside your sport, and it's being able to balance it, but also enjoying the fact that each one is a relief from the other, I think.